welcome into the podcast, a post-Electrify Expo wrap-up podcast live from the Union Tavern, our favorite watering hole, Keith, could you say? Water?
I don't know if there's a lot of water happening, but yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of water. It happens to be Negroni week here. I'm actually pretty stoked to try some of these Negronis, man. These different versions of Negroni. So,
Everybody sees Scott sitting over there on the edge of the bar.
Our marketing director sitting over there. He's right.
Here you go. Here's your chance.
There.
Here's your chance.
Okay, and there's Maddie. So, hey, Maddie, can I get a Negroni? Surprise me with one of the specials. Okay, thank you.
Just two.
Yeah.
Or you can make them different. I don't know.
This is Maddie. She's
Whatever.
like my favorite, one of my favorites. I got several favorites here. They're good folks here. Shout out to Joe, the owner, and our good friend Rothmeyer, who
What is it?
not
Oh,
with
I'm
us
looking
today.
at it right here. Facebook Union Tavern Local 902. Instagram at Union Tavern _ Local 902.
That's it. So what we're doing today, guys, is we're doing a live stream from here. Keith's been with me all week up here in the Pacific Northwest, actually almost 3 weeks. And we have been busy pumping out content, which if you'll go to youtube.com/Parts Counter Gurus, you can catch a bunch of that. But if you look on Instagram, follow us on Instagram, and we are at the Parts Counter Gurus. We're over on Facebook as well, which is facebook.com/Parts Counter Gurus, and you'll see a bunch of content. We featured some of the ruined .EV builders throughout the Electrify Expo show in Seattle. It was fantastic. So I had a blast. So go check all those little videos out. So
Why are you talking so? Shh, we're in a bar.
I know, man. I just don't want to.
You get your headphones on. That's why.
I do. I kind of like having my headphones on. Yeah, here, let me take them off for Keith, since it's kind of bugging him a little bit.
Shh, you're in a bar.
Yeah. So anyway, much fun. We had a blast, right? I got big thanks to BJ Burtwell, who is the founder and CEO of Electrify Expo. We are very grateful for that opportunity. Thank you to Neil. Neil Chen is an awesome, very explosive personality. When you're just in a room with him or just next to him, man, good things are going to happen.
So there's a interview that we put out with him on by Joe.
That was
on
Joe.
YouTube, I think, and we're going to release it probably in podcast form. At least we talked about doing that, so you can just listen to the Neil interview, which is about 15 minutes long, something like that.
Right.
And,
you want to just bring your face back into this so I don't look like I'm, there we go. That works, man. Thank you very much. So anyway.
These close-up cameras, man, it's, hey, everybody, how you doing?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So before we get into this any deeper, and we want to talk about what Expo was like in Redmond, in Seattle, Redmond's tech center of the Seattle area. By the way, it's Marymore Park. It's a really cool layout, and if you haven't done an Electrify Expo yet, there are 2 more shows. There's one in Miami, which is going to be happening the weekend of October 15, right?
October 14, 15,
Yep.
and then Austin is November 10th through the 12th.
Right. And so Keith will be covering Miami. He'll be at that one. I won't make that one.
Who knows what you'll get to see, everybody.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So, you can go to electrifyexpo.com. You see that I've got it up here on the, that's their website. And you can get tickets here. Tickets are really inexpensive. It's well worth going.
Take the family. There were little kids there.
Yeah.
They have the small bikes for youth to try out, the little e-bikes. They're very safety-minded. The experience will be fine, so mom and dad, don't be afraid to let the kids give that a shot. They will have a blast. E-mobility, it's a big deal, right?
Yeah, scooters, bikes, off-road trail bikes, stand-up skateboard type style devices, micro mobility, and then all the major car manufacturers. I know it varies a little bit from show to show, but BMW, Porsche, Toyota, Ford, Kia, Polestar. I'm sure I'm. And then you get to see all the Restromod conversions, which include just about everything else, including like Carmen Ghia and yeah.
If you really want to see some cool builds from the Electrify show-off part of Electrify show, man, you got to go to that show because it's crazy. These guys, so there's the club, the Ruined EV Club, and you can go to ruined.cc is their website, or follow them on Instagram, which is at ruined.ev. And you can see the representation of their members, but we got a firsthand close-up talk and look at 5 individuals that are part of the Pacific Northwest Ruined EV Club. And if you want to go to youtube.com/Parts Counter Gurus, you can see all those videos or watch them on Instagram. And again, that's we are at the Parts Counter Gurus on Instagram. Check them out. It's very innovative. They bag them. The wraps are insane.
All right, so let's. This is something I never talked about at the show, and I felt kind of like dumb for not mentioning it. But bagging a car, basically, if you've not ever heard that term before, you are putting air suspension on the vehicle. It's really simple, but it's just the slang term for bagging a car is taking the factory suspension, which usually isn't air unless it's a diesel.
Correct.
And putting air suspension on it.
That's right. Neil Chin, who again is the director of Show Off, has quite a few of his vehicles on show. Thank you so much.
Oh, wait.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maddie. Cheers, man. A little,
get that right on camera there.
Post show. Oh, wow. Man, that's fantastic.
So, yeah, how is that?
That is fantastic, man.
I would assume they're the same.
Nice job, Maddie.
She doesn't care.
She doesn't care. She's not watching. But yeah, so Neil was he bagged the first F-150 Lightning,
right,
that we saw at SEMA. He also bagged Mach-E.
Well, and on the F-150 made it fully adjustable.
Absolutely.
Parked,
which makes total sense
for an off-road. Yeah,
absolutely. Right. So what a fun event that was, man. Anyway. The bottom line is that Keith and I are so thankful to be able to have been a part of that. It was fantastic. We're going to continue to do it. We think that sector is growing so rapidly that next year is going to be just an absolute whirlwind for anybody involved.
Yeah, so, and as it grows, big shout out and thank you to our brand partners that helped us get there, including things like Space Trailer, where we hauled all the gear in, the Hitchfire Grill that we used to make hot dogs.
We cooked like...
Yeah, and ended up a few of those disappeared as walker-bys smelled it, I think. But those folks did run some specials. Some of them are still going on. If you go to our website at partscounterguru.com and click on the show specials.
Click the menu, drop down, and you'll find show specials, and all of those links to those brand partners along with the product that we had on hand there will be there. And those discounts are still valid. Yep. And some of those are exclusive to PCG, so make sure you take advantage of that. I mean, the companies themselves, for example, Black Widow Pro and Race Ramps, we've got an exclusive 15% off. So if you're into that, go to raceramps.com or the link in there, click on that link, and then make sure at checkout for Race Ramps, it's Guru, G-U-R-U.
Here, would you like me to just pull up the show specials
Just pull up the show specials and let these
there
folks
it is
look
right
at that.
there.
Yes. So,
and each one of these is, you can see, like the event e-bike, which we did a build on out here. If you click on that, it will take you to their promo page. Black Widow Pro takes you to theirs, then we put the code on the side. So there you go.
That's right. So
for those of you watching.
So again, yes, a big thank you to Space Trailers. We couldn't have pulled the show off without you. Thank you so much for giving us access to one. We were able to haul our e-bikes down and the entire contents of the booth, as well as our podcasting gear. No problem. And we're talking...
Yeah. So
we're talking goal zero.
Surprisingly good. Had a whole lot of people around us that shall remain nameless that have asked to have access to play with it, check it out. They're really cool. If you are looking to have any sort of a camping setup or a bike hauler setup or a extra towing setup, they work great on EVs. They've got a lowrider, that's the one we use. They've got taller ones. And again, this is the kind of stuff that it's really well built. We don't have things on our brand partners that is junk. Jay and I've looked at things before and went, nah, we're not doing these guys. This is not us. So check them out, show them some love. You get a discount.
Right. I saw some of the discounts over on Eventon.
Yep.
Today. And folks, if you're in the market, you need to be paying close attention to these guys because they shift around quite a bit on what they'll throw at you for a discount. In some cases, you might get as much as $700 off the MSRP, but right now they're running a special. It's $400 off. Plus, they're throwing in extra battery, a free extra battery with the cost. That's a $400 savings in itself.
So two things that on our video channel you'll get to check out is one, the build of the Adventure 2, and I think there'll be some other videos on that as well. And then the space trailer, there's also video content about to come out on that.
Yeah.
I've said many times, Jay's tired of hearing me say it, but the Eventon bike line is fantastic for the money.
Anything from commuters to touring bikes, to what I have, which is the Adventure 2, which I can ride around the city as well as take it on a long ride up a mountain, which we did. So just to kind of put this in perspective, Keith and I have been working our butts off for the last 2 weeks. The first week he got here was leading up to the show to get everything packed, get all of our gear ready, get all of our brand partner stuff and product to display, get down there. So that was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday event of just getting ready and getting down there, getting set up, and then having the show itself. But on Sunday, we were able to get everything torn down and packed up and got on our way. But the very next day, Monday, our good friend Rothmeyer took us on an e-bike adventure, and we ended up going 7 miles up.
A pretty steep grade.
It was all incline on the Eventon, and I had about 90% charge on that thing when we took off, 90% battery range on that thing, and I was able to make it all the way up 7 miles up to 4,500 feet in elevation, and I had about 40% charge left, and I didn't have to charge that thing up even at all while I had it on that particular trip. It was a lot of fun, guys, I'm telling you. And then we had a mile and a half hike in with full backpacks.
Mile and a half hike
camped overnight.
I carried everything I possibly could.
I can't say enough of how actual therapeutic and beneficial that was to all of us, because all three of us worked our butts off at that show, and you would think that hauling all that stuff around and getting to camp and setting camp up, we'd just be absolute drop dead tired, but we were very relaxed and very, if you will, rejuvenated the next morning. We all slept in, had some coffee right there, man, and right on the lake, and it was fantastic. I can't, and so the event and bike, this is what it does for me. It gave me the opportunity to do that. I could not have ridden that up on a regular bike. There's absolutely no way, Keith. What about you? I mean, you're
some of these guys that do hill climbs, and you're in shape for that for sure. But no, not in my current shape. That's where e-bikes come in. People think it's no work. That's not true. There is work. You do pedal.
Absolutely.
It just makes it easier, and you can. It's kind of like going for a fast walk versus running in a race.
Right.
The fast walk being the e-bike.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you still get plenty of exercise because it's pedal assist, and you determine your level of torque that you want, your level of assist that you want by managing that, toggling through the settings, and then obviously changing gears. And it's a little bit of a learning curve if you've never been on an adventure like that, but I'm telling you, if you're on that bike for an hour, you've got it figured out. It's so easy and very intuitive to use. I highly recommend it. I'm not saying that just because we're a brand partner. I'm saying it because I'm a Harley rider, and my Harley is not available to me right now. This is such a great alternative to being able to get out and that freedom of just being on a bike, right? There's nothing better than that, right, Keith?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
anything in the open on wheels moving, yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Had such a blast with it. But we didn't talk about Max Tie Downs. Max Tie Downs also another brand partner of ours.
Well, you got to have something to hold the gear.
Well, that's it.
So, something that is interesting that had occurred to us as we transported to and from the show is a lot of these e-bikes now are getting really, really fat tires.
Yeah.
Like dirt bike size off-road fat tires. And fat tire bikes have been around for a while. It's nothing new, but e-bikes started picking up on them a few years back. And fat tires are great if you're not going to be riding on pavement, more surface area and all that. But your traditional bike carriers sometimes aren't designed. They haven't caught up yet.
Right. They're not exactly accommodating those things. So we had to make some adjustments.
So the fat tire bike, a lot of times the fat tire, so couldn't get the tires to fit in the carriers, so we had to let some air out of the tires in true BJ and the Bear fashion. And then, but use the Max tie downs to stabilize the bike because those tie downs were rated to do that. You can use them on motorcycles, so they had no problem with an e-bike. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so there you go. And again, back to Max tie downs, we had their product on display and we used their tie downs, but even more importantly there was a presence there of Max tie downs even without us. There were several trailered vehicles that were on trailers that were strapped down with Max tie downs. So thank you to Max tie downs. You guys are an awesome team to work with. We really appreciate the efforts that you put in to help us display your product out there. We'll continue to create more content, so you guys make sure, again, that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Parts Kind of Gurus. We take those subscriptions, man. That's how we live and die. So please subscribe, like, follow, comment, do all that sort of stuff.
Even when the industry is on strike, we are not.
Yeah, so speaking of that, wow. So we just leave the Electrify Expo, and then we learn, what was it, yesterday? Was it yesterday the UAW went on strike?
Yeah, sure. Recently.
Yesterday or either Saturday,
right.
One of the two, I can't remember. That's a big deal, guys. Pay very close attention to this. This could get interesting.
I mean, so the challenge here is, I think, and I've said many, many times on this very program, how the automotive industry goes, so goes the U.S. economy. And I know some of you are listening to this or watching this saying, yeah, but it's not the entire automotive industry that went on strike. It's only the union affected, like Ford, right? So, for example, there are manufacturers that are non-union, like Nissan.
Right.
But Ford has enough sales that it would make a big enough dent in even just that monthly economy. And, these guys that are on strike right now that are union, they do get a stipend, they get a paycheck, but it's a smaller paycheck.
Right.
And how long is that going to go on? And how long are they going to starve, because it's it's a much smaller paycheck. So back to my point here, this is a dangerous game of chicken in that we are waiting to see who's going to blink first. Right? Is it going to be Ford or is it going to be the union?
Right.
And I'm not sure that goes well for anyone.
And this is our lifestyle. I mean, automotive industry is huge. Without it, obviously mobility is not happening. We are in an interesting time right now. We not only have this going on, but we still have the Writers Guild strike going on. Your entertainment is really kind of, we're left to watching reruns right now. We were having this conversation yesterday about what's new, what are you watching? And we were having to really dig deep in our pockets to go find stuff to watch that we haven't watched yet. So pay close attention to these things. It will have a tendency to upset the economy.
Hey, Maddie.
Hey, Maddie.
You have a minute? right, here, let me get you on camera. You have to sit. You have to sit for just 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
All right. So interrupt this because I saw the opportunity.
Yeah.
All right. It's Negroni week, or it's coming up, right? So, I got to bring you up. Sorry.
Oh, you're okay.
Okay. So, on the spot,
Oh, God. Don't
bartender test. What's in a Negroni?
everybody does it a little bit differently. Usually it's 1-1-1 to the gin, vermouth, and Campari. But here we do it 2 ounces of gin, 1 ounce Campari, 1 ounce of vermouth.
And there you go. There you
That's
go.
right.
Nice. You
Pass.
pass.
You pass.
You can.
These ones are summer Negronis, so these are a little bit different. This is dry vermouth, Aperol, and gin, so it's a little bit different, a little fresher, a little bit lighter.
Yeah. So this is like Negroni is like my new favorite.
Yeah.
So if you haven't tried it, first of all, if you're in this area, you need to come here and try it.
Yes.
But if you don't have that opportunity, you now have the recipe.
Exactly.
Thanks,
And it's
man.
very easy and simple.
Yeah.
You want to put a little
right.
orange garnish in there and
That's
you're good
right.
to go?
Thank you.
We might even add that to the podcast mentioned on the podcast, maybe.
Should we test everybody? Should we just let
There we go.
them-
Yeah, bring us all up one by one.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Maddie. All right, back to the strike.
Yeah. Back to the strike. Yeah.
Because you might need a drink while you're striking.
Well, I know that I have. Yes, I need drinks. After every occasion. I mean, it's handy.
So, okay, so what's your prediction for how this plays out? Now, you've seen strikes before. I've seen strikes before. We've kind of got a track. I don't have Bert. I warned you before we started the show. I don't have my Bert drop because we're remote and I didn't load it on the board.
It's all good.
All that, but we do.
I hate to say I told you so.
Pretty good track record of predicting automotive industry things.
Yes.
What do you think is going to happen?
Well, 2 things could happen. They could end this thing quickly, and the big 3 do what they're supposed to do and take care of their employees. But the demands are pretty high. I mean, I think they were looking for like a 26% increase in pay. Is that right?
I mean, yeah, it's turning into this whole. It's like buying a car, right? It's like, well,
It's a negotiation.
I just want to pay, $35,000 for this car.
Right.
So the sticker's 45, and I'm going to go in and ask for 25, right? And we know we're just going to try to meet in the middle, right?
Absolutely. But Keith, I think that we live in a very dangerous time with automation, AI. People need to be very mindful of that.
Now, this
because-
has been said before. Do you think that this is a cash grab because they see the industry changing to the point? Do I dare go down the took our jobs route?
No, I think you do go down that road. I think you have to. I think because that is a big fear of the members of the UAW.
But you have like Blue Oval City in Memphis that was just built.
Yeah.
I mean, that's lots of jobs.
But what's the percentage of automation? What's the percentage of AI in those factories? I mean, you think about that. These are modern.
Still more jobs, though.
Yeah, there'll be more jobs, of course. But I think what you're going to see is, as with anything, obsolescence happens, right? So you have, and I hate to,
I'm not very computer
I'm not very
literate.
computer
Yeah,
literate, right. But what I think you'll see is a shift among the workforce. It could be an opportunity for these guys to maybe purge some of the 30-year plus employees, offer them decent packages to move on, and level that playing field a little bit better. I don't know. I mean, I'm hearing all sorts of things from the workers, which is poor pay, bad medical coverage, poor vacation allotments, all those sorts of things. They're the employees. We are not. They're the ones that know what they are getting and what they aren't getting. And I believe you're right. I think that there could be a little bit of a cash grab also going on, trying to seize an opportunity here with it.
Yeah, and does it? Will people? I guess the other side of this is if there's a shortage. I used Ford as the example because they've been in the news a lot lately on. Jim Farley's been saying, we can't do that. It'll bankrupt us.
Right.
We can't do 45%.
Right.
So if Ford stops making vehicles, long enough that they don't have enough on the lot to sell competitively with the non-unions, like a Nissan or Toyota or whoever, Honda. Does Toyota just sell more trucks and nobody misses Ford? Do people are there enough people willing to go, I'd look at something else, I'm just not going to buy a Ford?
It's quite possible.
Or does it affect the economy?
It's quite possible it will affect the economy in a large way, due in part to the fact that Ford has been the number one truck supplier in the world for many, many years now. And you have to take everything into perspective, Keith, which is it's not just me as a Joe walking in and buying an F-150. We're talking about supplying
fleet
vehicles.
Yeah.
That's a big part of that. But I can tell you this, that with the shift to electric mobility, even if you look at some of the municipalities, they're going green. They're looking at F-150 Lightnings. They're looking at Chevy Bolts.
Rivians, all of them, right?
So I think people that are in the manufacturing side of that are in the combustion propulsion side of this industry, you need to be very careful.
Well,
because the shift is happening, right?
I got an interesting parallel here.
Okay.
So, we were looking at I was showing you a video last night at dinner, and it was, I'll name names. So it was MLB. It was a game between the Cardinals and the Phillies, and Bryce Harper got rung up on a pitch that was way out of the strike zone. It was up at his chin.
Yeah.
Okay.
The glove was up.
Oh yeah, the catcher's mitt was like at above the catcher's head.
The box,
yes.
right?
Okay. And so he got sassy with the umpire, and the umpire tossed him.
Right.
And so this happens a lot every season, and for the past 3 or 4 years, I follow socials, and there's this huge commentary from all the social media people, the fans that are just like, yep, here we go. It's going to be robo strike zones.
Yeah.
Like at this point, all they're doing when they continue to argue these is you're ushering in the age of robo. Is there a parallel here in manufacturing where consumers are just going to go, I'm tired of all the fighting, bring in robotics, screw the unions.
I think so.
And let's just be done with it.
Again, you're absolutely right, and I think people have to be very careful of that and be very mindful of that because of the shift in the industry towards electric mobility. Again, Keith and I have said this on this podcast time and time again. You have fewer moving parts, fewer mechanical parts on an electric vehicle. So, automation, robotics, artificial intelligence can definitely come in and do the job. Again, this will be interesting. And I think, though, the industry has always been very resilient, coming back from hard times, bad times. We've been through this before. It's the heart and soul of the U.S., our economy, that and housing. I think they'll find a way. They have to. If not, the economy
if not, we have a podcast, right?
Right, we can talk about it. We can cover it. Yeah.
And, what's really interesting to me is, and so things that we haven't mentioned yet that we saw at Electrify Expo, the boating industry is affected.
We were physically on a yacht that was all electric, was beautiful,
guys,
very
the yacht rock jokes that I...
Oh, man. Right?
And the sales guy, he was like, yeah, it's fine,
Yeah,
It's been 5 minutes, haven't heard one, go ahead.
But, you're right. You look at the things that you can do.
Boating industry.
Boating,
obviously motorcycles.
What about our Australian friend, right?
Phil?
Phil
so that was
Bush.
an outboard. That was smaller boats, yep.
Little Evan Rude that he created. And then we have the University of Washington, right? UW.
So racing. Right?
And these students built this electric race car, and they compete in this thing. They have a driver.
All of these things that we are mentioning, you can see content on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Parts Counter Gurus. For those of you that didn't know, and if you didn't know, welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Absolutely. Let's make a mention here of one one of the exhibitors or displays, I should say, or builders, Conductive Classics, right? And they're a member of the Ruined EV club, squad, if you will, is what AJ likes to call it, the squads. He had a 1964 Galaxy.
Ford.
Ford Galaxy, right? And then we had another couple. They were Electric Slice. It was a 1969 Carmen Ghia that was converted to an EV. And you think about this, there were some points made. I asked the question 2 times. What do you tell someone that has a classic vehicle that wants to convert it? They all say, well, typically your classic cars, you get them and you drive them on the weekend. And you don't have to with an EV conversion, you don't have to worry about getting gas in it. You don't have to worry about the oil. You don't have to worry about a slow start. As long as the batteries are charged, you are going to be going and having fun. And getting out there and charging those things are easy. In fact, Electric Slice, man, they travel all over the Pacific Northwest showing their car. Yeah. And they absolutely love it. Just some of the innovative things with classic cars was just amazing.
Yeah.
That big old GMC that was there. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
You guys are looking at Mike's Galaxy, which, like he said, if you didn't have the hood up or the trunk open, you wouldn't know. But I just want to say, like, if you have a vintage automobile and it's been sitting in your garage for years and doesn't run well anymore and the carb's all gummed up, these guys are really great. You need to reach out to Conductive. I think it's conductiveclassics.com.
Classics, yeah. You can buy this thing. It's for sale.
Yeah, that one's for sale. But more importantly, you guys, if you do message them or call them, please ask for Mike and tell him that Keith sent you.
Yeah.
Little inside joke there.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then you have, again, the Ruined EV clan that are just bagging their cars, and they're taking their Tesla plaids, Model S plaids and 3s, and they're doing all these cool things. They're wrapping them. I think Innosatech was a big player in some of the wraps. Teslux Innovations.
It's kind of a new thing to you, isn't it? I noticed like the wrapping game was kind of
blew my mind, because I'm looking at this car going, that's a beautiful finish, paint finish. It's not a paint finish. It's a wrap.
Right.
And so Stefan had a Mamba green Tesla wrapped.
So
it's just amazing, man.
If you buy a new car or a car that's in really good condition, the paint's great, it's like, well, I don't want to sand it down and repaint it. And that's messy. So you wrap them, right? And that's a process where, like, again, many of you know this, but if you don't, you go through, and usually it involves like a clay bar, and you pull all the dirt imperfections off the surface, and then you literally put shrink wrap over the car that's colored. And then the thing that I didn't know is that they are ceramic coating these wraps now.
Yes. You
have the protective ceramic coating.
How many times have we said it on this podcast?
Right.
Innovate or go home.
Right. So you could literally every week, Jay, you could go pink Mini Cooper, and then the next week it's like Green Hornet green,
yeah.
And then the next week it's
It crossed my mind while we were there.
Yeah.
I mean, I could wrap my Cooper.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
You
could. But now after getting out with my e-bike and getting out and camping, I think I might need to go get a
nice PCG wrap.
We could do that.
Red and blue.
I got some friends that do that.
Little Union Tavern, on the back, like powered by
powered by
Union Tavern.
Union Tavern, yeah. There you go. So that's funny. Then we had another guy, interesting guy. At Corporate Grunt is his handle over on Instagram. At Corporate Grunt. Donald is he's a veteran. He's a disabled veteran. I learned a little bit more about him as we were editing video. Dude races. He's sponsored by R1 Concepts. He has his vehicle was wrapped with an Innosatech wrap as well.
So a lot of these guys go to the shows and they see one that they like, and then I think they all latch onto the same, like, oh well, I'm gonna go and Nosatech too, you
right,
know?
and that's exactly what you saw. Teslux Innovations is also another big player in that, and so and you got wide body kits for these things. You got carbon fiber for these things, and what Mr. Pink did, Marcus, what's up, brother? What Mr. Pink did you see that on the interior, that video? Go check his video out. That like snake skin, that
under the hood.
Under the hood,
or
yeah.
in the frunk.
Yeah. Which he won an award for best use of frunk.
Yep. So if we're going to go that route, so the amount of effort that a lot of these people, and for those of you that are not into like the building and the customization, like the best example I can give you of this is, you know, when I was a kid, I did train tables. You can do the landscaping, and you make the trees look real, and you make the lakes look real,
absolutely,
and you put mountains
man.
in the background. You get your tunnels.
Yeah.
Later on, we got a little technology involved. We got cameras in the tunnels,
Yeah.
you know, and all that. And so you get these guys that spend every waking minute that they're not like on their day job doing something. And I need to reach out. So I'll see if I can put it in this in the video version of this if she'll send it to me. But Bree went literally
above and beyond
her headliner and made it like you're looking at the stars.
It's fiber optic.
Yeah, so
what it is.
she just put all these tiny holes in the headliner and ran fiber optic cables, tubes, whatever.
She stood on her head for hours, she said, but it's beautiful. Nice touches, man. Everything she did with her Tesla was, her personality came through so much in that car.
Yeah.
And each one of them, everybody out there that had one, their personality came through loud and clear. Sham, man.
You know, I did nothing but like tease him and make him nervous the whole
Right.
time. And then he ended up winning all the awards.
He did. He took home 2, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Every one of those guys out of the Ruined EV P&W squad took an award home. Every one of them, and well deserved, because they represented themselves and who they were with. I tell you what, one cool thing, we haven't brought this up yet, but man, the detail kid.
Okay, so we had he's 12.
Yep.
And he is on socials as the Detail Kid. And you would never guess what he does.
Right.
So we did an interview with him. Check it out. Again, it's out there. He's detailed President Reagan's Air Force One. He's done some really cool movie cars. He's done some really exotic vehicles.
He's done kit.
And you would say,
Knight Rider.
right, and you know what's fascinating to me is these are all staples of our show.
Right.
And they're like a 12-year-old.
And he's
right.
detailed every single one of them.
And he knows them. He knows his cars, and I know somebody else like that. But okay, so yeah. I hear you doubters. Yeah, I could teach my kid to clean a car too.
Yeah.
There is a certification process.
Right.
And he went through it. He is the youngest member of that certification program. He is legit, the real deal.
The youngest
He's not a
certified
shade tree
detailer.
detailer.
No, he knows
by any
what
stretch.
he's doing.
Yeah.
The other thing that, he is sought after by these auction events.
Oh, he's been on TV.
Barrett Jackson. He's doing all this. So go follow him. It's the.detail.kid.
Yep.
On Instagram.
Side
He's
shot.
also,
If you're listening,
yes.
you can start anytime. There's a couple cars in the garage. By the time I get home, you can have those done, and we can move on to the RV.
Right.
Ooh, Detail Kid, could you do my RV?
Drive it out
That's
to where
a
he's at. Yeah, why
Day's
not?
job,
That
for
is a
sure.
day's job.
It's like washing a
He
whale.
would do it, though. Good
Yeah.
kid. Mom and dad are super awesome. He's got a sister, too, and they're just all in with what he's doing, and they make a great team. So just make sure you go check him out. He's got a YouTube channel as well. Like I said, it's The Detail Kid. I found him on YouTube. He's got some great videos out there of him actually detailing those vehicles at Barrett Jackson. So go check him out. So, man, Neil. What else? I mean,
Yeah, so for those of you, Neil Chin, who's become somewhat of a regular on this program, he is currently based out of California.
Much love, Neil.
We got to get to work on that.
We do.
I feel like okay, he won't see this, but let's talk through reasons Neil is still in California.
I think he said we were like his favorite podcast
Yeah, we'll see.
now or something.
We'll see.
So, and by
Okay.
the way, guys, we could be your favorite podcast too. Just, go to partscounterguru.com and subscribe, or just go to youtube.com/partscounterguru, and we have our video podcast there, whatever works for you. Anyway, thank you.
So possible reasons that Neil is still in California. Now, I have argued, again, for those of you that don't know what I'm about to say, welcome, this is your first episode. But all the California industry is moving to Nashville, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Neil's in Southern California. Why? Well, there's a lot of builders there.
Yep. It's actually kind of the epicenter of the builders.
Okay. That is starting to become, there's a lot of them that have already moved.
Yeah.
So there's manufacturers there. Well, no, actually most of them moved their headquarters out of Orange County 5 to 10 years ago.
Right.
Nissan moved, they were probably the first one. Chrysler moved out. Mitsubishi moved out. They've all sort of left. Usually for cost reasons. Toyota moved out. They're in Texas now. I think Honda was the last holdout the last time I checked.
Yeah.
So there's that. Okay, well, no, they're all here, Neil. So, come on. I'm trying to move him next door so that I can just run my own stuff through his, schools, family. I think we got him beat there. You can bring your family. Schools are better. Like, what possible reason could Neil have left? I think I've gone through most of the...
Unless he's got, family ties.
Bring him.
Yeah.
I've never said that to anybody.
Yeah.
You all know that. I am not very
You're
welcoming.
always telling people not to come.
Yep. But for him, I feel like it would be a positive contribution.
I kind of think that Nashville would be better with him there and his family. So they're awesome. Neil, so you heard it here. We're telling you, come on, you need to move out there.
There's absolutely nothing
there
left
for
for you
25
there.
years.
We've established that. Whatever it is, it's not good enough. You
I
gotta
would move back. Second home,
Well, that's the other thing.
I'll keep my place here, and I can be here in the summer and go back there in the winter. Of course, the winters there are colder than they are here, man. So
yeah, but we don't get the snow you get.
Yeah, right. So, but
all right. My prediction for the next podcast.
Okay.
By the time the next podcast airs, I predict that the UAW strike will be resolved.
Okay.
Now, that could be a week for the next podcast. It could be 3 weeks.
Right.
Probably won't be a month. So the constraints there are 1 to 3 weeks.
Right.
I think it's going to be resolved. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near 45%. I think it's going to be probably about, and I'm saying this on recording for a purpose, because I'm going to bookmark this and come back.
Right.
I think it's going to be closer to about 10 to 12%. But I think that the UAW is going to go, but we got all this other stuff, which will probably be true. Like, they will have gone and gotten better benefits or vacation time. So the 12%, pay raise is not going to be the focal point. They will spin it to be, look at all the other things that we got.
Right.
And we're not going to focus on the fact that we just took a 12% bump, which, by the way, guys, a 12% bump for anybody in your current job, that's pretty good.
Truth, man.
So that's my prediction.
Okay.
Now, if I'm wrong, we're basically all screwed, because it will have been over a month and there's no cars or trucks being made out of the UAW facilities.
Yeah, and that's scary. If you are a dealership right now, you're gonna
if you're a Kia dealer or a Toyota dealer, you're like, bring it on.
You're fine.
Yeah.
But I'm talking Ford and
they're pooping their
GM,
pants,
right?
Yeah.
So if you take that, what's going on there, these dealerships that have had large inventories that have appreciated the large inventories that they have now. I need to get you guys to go back into the past during COVID when we were having the chip shortages. It could be another one of those for the U.S. automakers. So just pay attention, man. If you want a vehicle, you might start looking now, or go Toyota, Kia, Hyundai, whatever, which are not bad vehicles, and some of those are made in the U.S. There's a lot of plants.
A lot
here.
of them are, yeah.
So just keep that in mind. It doesn't mean just because they're from the company that is from another part of the world does not mean that they are not American made.
Yep.
There's people working in those factories in Chattanooga and Atlanta and Smyrna, Tennessee, and
Montgomery,
Alabama.
Yep, there you go.
You got Subaru up in Lafayette, Indiana. I mean, there's plants all over the U.S. that are filled with foreign names, but they're still American made, guys. There's Americans building those things. So there you go. Anyway, so where do we go from here? Do we wrap it up?
I think we're out. So thank you guys for watching and listening. If you have not checked out the Electrify Expo content, please go do that. YouTube, Instagram. Yes.
Yes.
You're still quick, on. The camera's still
rolling.
Going.
Let me say this real quick. Here's what we want you guys to look for from us. Okay, just like Keith was about to say, let's give them our show schedule coming up.
Go right ahead.
So, first off,
by the way, the menu you all are seeing behind Jay's head, that's beers.
Yes.
On tap. So there you go. Like,
I had that one earlier, and it's fantastic. Anything out of Astoria. I'm going to be in Astoria next month, actually. So there you go. Fort George is there, Bowie, Pelican, good stuff. Anyway, show schedule. So, like we said, Keith will be at the Electrify Expo in Miami solo, but we will be doing some live streaming, and he will bring me into that. Technology gives us that ability to do that, so stay tuned for that. We will have AJ on from Ruined EV, and I hope that we can have Neil on again. And eventually, I'm going to throw this invite out there. BJ, if you would like to come on our podcast at the last two shows, we would love to have you. We think what you're doing with Electrify is a wonderful thing. It's educating people and getting people motivated to at least try it. And once you try it, I think you'll understand why it's a cool thing. And then, of course, we have SEMA at the end of October, 1st of November. That's going to be that first full week in November. They've tried something new this year. They got SEMA Fest. It's going to be happening on the Saturday and Sunday after SEMA Ignited on Friday, and they're going to have big bands like Wiz Khalifa, Incubus, Bush. I can't think of the other names, but there's just a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And then Keith and I will be traveling to Austin later, or actually a week after SEMA, where we will be covering the Electrify Expo, the final show of the year at Austin, where Keith is excited because, and I am too, because it's the what is it, the Circuit of the Americas?
Oh yeah,
track?
COTA. So famous racetrack that is world class, and what that means is a lot of some of the faster Formula One, MotoGP, if the track doesn't have certain number of safety standards, like sometimes it's too tight of a turn, or they won't put the proper safety equipment in place. Well, we can't, there's a concrete wall on that turn, so
right.
that we can't run a MotoGP race there, because if bikes slam into the concrete wall, people die.
Exactly.
And so when they built COTA, it was all in the mindset of they could race literally anything there, and they can change it and shorten it and extend it and all that. But it is sort of it's one of the famous ones that all the kids have played in all the racing games. It's a tricky track. It's technical. Doesn't have a whole lot of elevation change because it's in Texas, but it's not completely flat. And Getting on any world-class racetrack, like literally being able to set foot on that track, is such a it's the equivalent, Jay, of like setting foot on a professional sports field.
Gotcha.
Professionally maintained. Like they're just not going to let you come out
You
there.
mean like that weird oval ball-looking place, like
Right.
where the Green
The
Bay
corners
Packers
on the
play?
end. Yeah, right.
Like
So-
Lambeau Field, you mean?
Right. They're not going to let you like bring your Jack and Coke out there and you know.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
I get it. No, that's exciting, and I'm looking
This
forward to
ain't
that.
NASCAR.
Right. I have a niece and nephew that live there in Austin, so I'm hoping to kind of catch up with them while I'm there. That'll be fun. So yeah, we're looking forward to this, and it'll be a good way to end the year for us. We're going to regroup in December, and we have got a big year ahead of us. We're pretty certain of that. We're going to be traveling a lot. We're going to be doing a lot of different things. Stay tuned to that. We hope to be catching some Overland Expo stuff, so keep your eye on us for that as well. And just many other things. We got a lot of content coming out. We got a lot of brand partners that we're going to be bringing you some of their product with exclusive opportunities to purchase at a discount. So keep that in mind. So, do we want to bring anybody else on before we go, or we just say bye?
I think they're all working.
So can you turn maybe the camera on?
I can do that.
Hey, Philly.
Wait, what am I doing here?
Well, the afternoon crowd is coming in, so we've
Okay.
got,
There's the afternoon crowd.
There's the afternoon crowd here. This is my office. Just saying. So, was hopefully going to get Tristana to say hello here, but let's see if we can get a wave.
Busy working.
Hey, Tristana, wave to the camera. She's GM. Awesome, good stuff. Anyway, thanks to Joe.
Yeah.
And Rothmeyer.
So
and Tristana.
Support the show. Support this place. Even if you're not in the area, you can just go hit them up on Instagram and get them some traffic. Give them some likes. It is at Union Tavern _ local 902. Support our show. If you're not going to buy any of the stuff from our brand partners that we mentioned,
Got some really cool hats, man.
Yeah, you can buy the hats on the store at partscounterguru.com, or you can just, while you're there, click on the Amazon link, because I know you guys all use Amazon.
Absolutely.
And just click through there and shop to your heart's content.
Hit us up.
Yeah, so until next time, you guys make sure you tune in to hear if that prediction comes true.
Seriously, they can hit us up at Hit Us Up.
Oh, we giving that out now? Okay. Yeah, so we have the email address where you can reach us.
You want to be on the podcast? You want to come on the podcast? You want to be a brand partner? Hit us up.
It's hit us up at partscounterguru.com. That's the email address.
Yeah.
And if you're a spammer, you can burn in hell. But anyway.
We'll just change the damn email address. But just stay tuned.
Until next time, thank you guys for watching and listening. That's my pal Jay over. I moved the cameras. We're on location. Over there, I'm Keith. We'll see you on the next one.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.